We've done cross-site scripting. Now let's do a cross-site request forgery attack, or CSRF, sometimes called XSRF. So we're going to go back to the DVWA website. We're going to log in as admin with password. We're going to go to the CSRF page, and it has a function that allows us to change the password to something else. And here's the kicker. It is written poorly, so we'll be able to steal the information ourselves. And then we're going to send something to an unsuspecting user. We're going to get them to go to a malicious website that we will set up. And when they go to that malicious website, in the background, they're going to be running a page that will go into DVWA and change the password to even something else. So let's try it. So here I am on Kali, and looks like it logged me out. No problem. Log in as root with a password of tour. So I am going to log out, and I'm going to log in as admin password. And so you can see admin password works. Don't save. Let's go to CSRF. So this page has a simple functionality that lets us change the admin password. We're going to change it, as we show here, to test123. Test123, if I typed it right. Confirm. Test123. Okay, now watch what happens. When we click change and don't save, do you observe that up here in the URL, and this is very often careless website developers do this, they actually expose these parameters into the URL itself. And so notice there's password new equals test123, and password conf for confirm is test123. Password is changed, but they expose that here. Now that's not a big deal because we were changing it. However, we're going to take advantage of this. So I'm coming up to the URL. I'm going to click it 3 times real quick to highlight all of it. I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy. And I'm going to paste this just so I have it handy in a text document. So let me just minimize this for a second. I'm on the Kali desktop. I'm going to open LeafPad in the favorites launcher. Click LeafPad. It's just a simple text editor. Right click, paste. And I'm going to save this document. And I'm going to save it right on the desktop as CSRF. Just save it. Okay, so I have this, and if we expand this, you can see this was the whole thing. Where we go to DVWA, there's actually a subfolder called vulnerabilities, CSRF /?. The question mark, we know that means run some kind of script or executable. Password underscore new equals test123, and password underscore conf equals test123, and change equals change. Go. So with that in mind, let's go set up a malicious website and trick our user into clicking something to go to the malicious website, and they think everything's okay, but what will really be happening is this will be running in the background. And in this case, we're going to change it again, not to test123, but to let me in. See that? I'm changing it, both the password and the confirmation, to let me in. All right, so I'm going to copy this and have it handy. Control C, I'm going to have it handy. Okay, so let's set up a malicious website. It's very easy to do in Server 2016. I'm going over to Server 2016 right here. And I want to show you something. I've kind of got it staged already so that you don't have to waste time watching me making typing errors. So let's start out, first of all, with what it means to set up a website in Windows. When you set up the lab, you already installed IIS, Internet Information Server, which is Windows website. And you can log on. Let me just get rid of some of these other things. We don't need to see them. When you log into Server 2016, you can open Server Manager. And if you don't see Server Manager, here it is. Not that one. Well, it's not here. You can click Start and come to Server Manager right here. Open Server Manager. And in the Tools, in the upper right-hand corner is Tools. Click Tools. Go down to Internet Information Services IIS Manager. Not 6, because that's for something It's very specific. Just manager. Click that. And up comes the IIS manager. And there is already a web server. And if you expand it, it has websites. And if we expand this, we can see that there's the default website and there's websites for the email server. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to create a malicious site. Now, I have one here just as a sample, so let's go look at it. I called it Hello. So what you do is you right-click Sites and you add a website. And I created one and I called it Hello. And if we expand this in Hello, we'll set a few settings. So let's just create another one. So we'll right-click Sites, add website, and we'll call it Welcome. Call it whatever you like, I don't care. Now we have to give it a physical path where the content will actually be. So out on the hard drive here in SQL or Server 2016, I'm opening the File Explorer, and in the C drive, there's going to be something called INETPub, Internet Publisher, or whatever it is, INETPub. It's been around forever. Microsoft has always used that. This is where all the IIS content goes. Double click, open it. And you'll see there's www.root. Double click and open that. Now we're going to create a folder specifically for our welcome site. Just right click in the free space and go new folder and just call it welcome or whatever you want to call this website. No spaces, no funny characters. When you open it up, there's no content, so we have to give it some content. If you look, you'll notice that in the root of www.root, just right here, there is a text document called IIS Start. And we can copy that and edit it and put it in Welcome. So I'm going to right-click Copy. I'm going to go to Welcome, and I'm going to paste it. And we're going to edit this. Now, to save a little bit of time, I already have one done, so I want to talk about that. So I'm actually going to, I'm going to delete this because I already have one done, and just so you don't have to waste time watching me type. Here's Hello, and I've got IIS Start. I've got my own copy. Let me right-click and copy this. Select it, right-click, copy. I'm going to put it into Welcome. Right-click and paste. And I'm going to open it with a text editor. So right-click IIS Start, because it's just a text file, and right-click it and open with Notepad is good enough. Now, just so you can see this, let's talk about this. I'm not trying to teach you HTML, but it's good to know a little bit of this stuff, and I'm not trying to teach you scripting or anything like that. So here's just a few standard elements in a very, very, very basic web page. We say the document type is HTML. And notice how we've got bang doc type HTML, and then we have another opening tag, HTML language equals English, and then the head opening tag, and then the meta character set saying that this is UTF-8, meaning just an 8-character, it's not a Unicode, not like a 2-byte character. Then there's a title, welcome to my site. And notice we have closing tags. Now you can get this also from the resources in our LMS. You can download this along with the resources where you download the other documents for this course. And then you close the head tag, and then we open the body. And in the body, we open a header, H1, saying, hi there, today is your lucky day, and we close it. Now, this next part is the kicker. We're saying that there's an image, but we're saying don't display the image, the source of the image, because normally you put in an image and it's like points to a PNG or a JPEG. But we're saying don't display this. And the source of the image is not just some website where images are. It's DVWA vulnerability, CSRF password, blah, 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 let me in. I have copied and pasted that same content that we had on Kali that we put into LeafPad. So this is going on in the background. Don't display this, just simply go here and run this. And then what you'd do is you'd send a link, a phishing link or something to the victim or in social media or something, and they click the link to this malicious site. So we're going to save this right here. And so when they come to www.root welcome, and it's gonna give them IIS Start by default, which is the default in Microsoft websites. to give visitors IIS start. That's like the default web page. So let's click the physical path. Let's browse to the C drive. Let's go to inetpub. And let's go to www.root, pick welcome. Click OK. Okay, so now, because port 80 is already in use, we have to use some other port. So like port 8088. It doesn't matter because our malicious link is going to have it already, and the user won't even know. We don't need to bother with a host name. You use host names, host headers we call them, in case you have multiple sites using the same port. But we'd have to get DNS involved so that there could be a differentiation. We're not going to go there. We're just going to have IP address :8088. Click OK. And then just make sure that the welcome website, that there's no authentication. Go to IIS on the right-hand side, authentication, click it. And we can actually double-click it and open it and make sure that anonymous authentication is enabled, which should be the default. Which means when they click that link, in the background, their browser is going to the other website that they already have a relationship with and is telling that website to do something totally different. So there's our malicious site with malicious content. Who would have thought that Windows Server 2016 would be a malicious website? All right, so we have that, and we're going to send the user, we're going to pretend that we've somehow sent the user a malicious link to that IP address :8088. So let's go to some user who's, well, we won't involve Ubuntu. Let's just go back to Kali. So let's pretend that now here's some innocent user doing whatever they're doing, and we can minimize this, and we somehow send them, one way or another, a link to this malicious site. And they click on that link, and it goes to Windows 2016, 192.168.75.16:8088. And they think they're clicking it to win a free iPad or something. Press enter, and you see, looks like it's okay. Doesn't look like there's anything going on. Looks just fine. But in the background, let's go check DVWA. Let's go back to DVWA. Let's log out. Can we log in with password? Let's see, what was our password before? Test123, I think is what we had. Test123. Can we do that? Admin TEST123. No, it failed. Look at that. Login failed. Can we log in with let me in? Let's try that. Admin. LETMEIN. Oh, yeah. That's cross-site request forgery.